population of the Kansas City metro area is nearly 2 million people. Since 1990, it has grown by over 300,000 people. There was a net gain of 37 new churches from 1990 to 2000. There's an extraordinary opportunity for new churches in Kansas City. What if a church could change the spiritual landscape of an entire city? New churches best reach new generations, new residents, and new people groups. Ultimately, new churches best reach the unchurched. We are launching Reachout KC for all these reasons. Back in 2001, Jill and I moved back to Kansas City, where I grew up, to be with my dad. He was in the final stages of liver cancer. We moved back to spend as much time as we could with him. In the midst of that difficult time, where my dad eventually lost his battle with cancer, we began to realize that God was doing something deep inside of us. You see, up to this point, Jill and I had been to Bible college, we'd been involved in youth ministry, and we left all that behind to go and be with my dad in Kansas City. So when we arrived, we got secular jobs and just got whatever we could. We began to realize that the people we work with, most of them in their 20s, had no connection to a church community. As we began to engage them in conversation and really just try to find out what their story was, they were all very different. Some of them had grown up in church, while many of them had never even attended church. But one thing that they agreed on is that church had nothing relevant to say to them. From that point on, everything that we did would be to reach out to these people who were disconnected from church. Today, in 2007, we're preparing to embark on an exciting adventure. Just a few months from now, we will be moving to Kansas City. And this time we're returning to Kansas City on a mission. We're joining a team of people to plant a church in the Northland of Kansas City. And this is exciting for us because the mission of this church is to help people find their way back to God. We believe this church will literally affect the entire spiritual landscape of the city. And the strategy for this is for this to be a reproducing church. Initially, we will launch a church in the Northland of Kansas City, and then we will launch other locations throughout the city, literally affecting the entire city. And my role in this is to be a church planter apprentice, to go and to learn what it takes to plant a church. And then when the time is right, they'll send Jill and I out to launch another location of this church. The reason why you're watching this today is because this God-breathed vision is powered by you. We invite you to consider your role in this endeavor that we're calling Reachout KC. We ask you to consider just praying for us as we prepare to launch this church in this community. And we invite you to pray with us as we build relationships with people who are disconnected from church, that have no church home and have no relationship with Christ. Also, we ask that you would consider how you might invest financially in this endeavor. While you may not be prepared to pick up and move to Kansas City like we are, perhaps you would consider being the lead investor in this endeavor, which could literally affect the entire spiritual landscape of Kansas City. We've included commitment cards in the packet with this DVD. We ask that you prayerfully consider how you might help people find their way back to God in Kansas City. Thanks for your time.
Kansas City, can't Kansas City, here we come.